Welcome guys to another reading diaries video where I just basically read whatever I want in a week. Recently I feel like I've kind of been in a reading slump because I have been making a lot of videos centered around a certain theme, so I pick books to read to fit that certain theme. As of right now, I just want to read books based on my mood and read, whatever I want. So there are 3 books that I want to get through today. The first 2 is volume 4 and 5 of Heartstopper, which I'm really excited to read this. The last volume is volume 6. I don't really know when that's coming out, but I love Heartstopper, especially because season 3 is going to be coming out. It's just a really cute fluffy book, but it also has important topics, and I love the drawings in this book and just like Nick and Charlie so much, and I've been wanting to read the rest of the volumes, so I'm excited to finally be able to. And I also want to reread the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, so I'm going to be starting off with the volume 1. I started watching the Donghua and I stopped once it got to the really angsty part, so I wanted to read the books and then kind of like switch back and forth. I did read this book I think last year, but I read the unofficial translations, which I think made it difficult for me to understand the books. There are just too many characters without the same name and it's very confusing for me. And I have also forgotten what happened in this book because it was really difficult for me to read it, and I honestly feel like I blacked out. So because all the official translations are out now, I want to read all of them, and I'm so excited because after watching the Donghua, I feel like in a way I've gotten obsessed with the series, as I am with Heaven's Official Blessing, because that's my favorite, and because it is a reread, I know that the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation will be 5 stars. Also Heartstopper. So I'm excited to get through all of that. I almost forgot to do my final updates for the day, but it is close to my bedtime. So today I finished reading 2 books, which was Heartstopper Volume 4 and Heartstopper Volume 5. I love this graphic novel so much. I just love the way that the characters are drawn because they are so cute. Henry and Nellie, which are the dogs, are so adorable, especially Henry. I just want to squish him. He's like a little loaf because he's a pug, but he's absolutely adorable. And of course Nellie, we love Nellie so much. A little bundle of joy. I'm basically just talking about their dogs, but Nick and Charlie as well. I love it when their cheeks get squished and when they like blush and their eyes get all sparkly. This is just very like specific things that I like about the art, but those are my favorite aspects of the book alongside the storyline. But honestly, Joe and Kit were the perfect choice for Nick and Charlie. The whole cast, whoever was the casting director, honestly did such a great job because they literally feel like the character of the graphic novels have came to life. I haven't started reading Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. I think I'm going to read it tomorrow because honestly I'm really excited, but I'm also kind of scared because just the thought of beginning it, I want to start it so badly, but at the same time I'm like, do I really want to go through that whole entire thing again? At the same time there's like a need. I feel like I need to read it. I'm back home from uni and my first lecture, which is around like 10 o'clock, actually got cancelled, which made me really upset because I was like, if you told me this earlier I would have just slept in. So I ended up taking a nap from 8:30 to 9:30 because I was like, I cannot handle it. And then I had another lecture at 12, so I just ended up going to uni around 11. But now we are back, we are home. I actually did not start reading Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. I ended up continuing on with this manhwa called I've Become a True Villainess, and I'm literally on the last chapter. It recently got completed, which I'm very happy about because I only read completed manhwas, but I have 1 chapter left to read and then I'm done with it. I really enjoyed it. I want to read the light novel because I heard a lot of spoilers from the comments and people saying that it has a lot more details, because the manhwa, like the ending of it was very choppy because I felt like they didn't really explain everything very well. So I want to find the translation of the light novel, but we'll see if I'm actually able to find it. But this time I'm actually gonna start reading Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. I'm gonna do it literally after I film this clip. When I told you guys I was gonna start reading Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, I actually have read quite a bit of it, even though I started it a bit late. And I'm pretty into it right now, so I can't wait to read more of it before I go to bed. But this is what my issue was the first time, but we are approaching the past timeline, which sometimes I'm kind of like, I know that the past timeline is extremely important to know what is going on in the present, but sometimes I kind of just wish we were in the present because the past timeline is where all the bad, horrible, angsty part happens, and I just want to be in the present with the cheerful characters. It starts off so good and cute cute, very nostalgic, the good old days, and then we get hit with like everything that happens after that, and then I just get irrationally angry, like how dare did you do this to my characters. But another issue I have with the overall book is honestly just the amount of characters there are, and the fact that they have like, similar names, and also they have like 3 different names, and it's so hard for me to like, keep up with it. For example, because it's like a cultivation world, we have different clans, and the main one is like the Lan clan, the Jin clan, and the Jian clan, and then we have the people within those clans but they have the same surname but different first names, and then we have certain characters where we get introduced to like all their 3 names. So for example, we have the clan leader of the Lan clan, who is the Lan Huang, and then his nickname is Zhu Jun, but then his courtesy name is Lan Chen, but he is mostly referred to as Lan Chen in the story. And I think that the reason why I honestly didn't understand the plot for the first time around of reading it, because there were so many characters with the same name. I was like, who is who? I had a hard time imagining what was going on because I kept mixing up characters, and there are so many characters both in the present and past timeline. I can only remember the really important ones. But hopefully this time around, especially because I watched a little bit of the Donghua, it has helped me remember the characters a little bit more and their names, and to be able to like visualize their faces, I guess, to the name. Whenever I like a book a lot, I do tend to read it really quickly, especially when I just want to consume it so badly. I read this book for like maybe 2 hours and I'm already 68% through the book, and I'm very excited to read the rest of the volumes. The plot of this book is all over the place, but that's honestly what makes it so entertaining, because my favorite thing is when there's so many things going on in a book that it's not boring. You know, I just don't like very slow paced book. There has to be something always going on, and this has everything because there is a lot going on. Really, there is a lot. So I'm excited to finish this. I want to read another book called Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson, because I have been wanting to get through her books, because I already read 2 of them. I think 2 of them, maybe 3 of them in the past, I can't really remember. And I have been needing to read Second Chance Summer because it's been like in my head for a while and I just want to get over reading that book. Something about me is like, you need to read that book. And then I ended up finding the English translation of The Tragedy of a Villainess, but I'm really excited to read this as well. There are things that are not included in the manhwa because obviously it's a lot shorter, so I wanted to read the book just so that I can get all the juicy details. Because it's very thick, I kind of just want to go back and forth. Like, I don't expect to read it all at once unless I really like it and I want to finish it very quickly. So I'm back home from uni. Today was a pretty cold and windy day and I think I wore too many layers, so now I'm really hot. I finished reading Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation last night and there was like 13% left, so I thought that there was still more to read, but then it ended and it was because of the glossary and appendix, which I completely forgot about. But I have started reading Second Chance Summer, and I realized the reason why I wanted to read it so badly is because it is the last of Morgan Matson's 2010s release that I have yet to read, because I read the rest of the books, which I did not realize. But so far I'm really enjoying it. It's about this girl named Taylor whose dad gets diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and they go to her summer vacation place, which she hasn't been there for so long, and there is this some kind of mystery because her like ex-boyfriend and her best friend, something about their friendship, it didn't end well, so we have that sort of mystery of like trying to figure out why it didn't end well. And then there's this some sort of angst between her and her ex-boyfriend because it left off badly, and because of that there's like this some sort of animosity between them, and I kind of want to know why, because there is like this tension between them, which I love so much. If you guys want a book to cry to, read this book, because I spent the last hour just sobbing my eyes out. If you want like a cute summer vacation house type of book where there's romance and friendship and you want to cry your heart out, like, it started off so chill. I knew we were gonna head to that direction, and then the last 10%, literally everything was going on, and it was honestly so beautiful. The ending, just like the little things and references that we get throughout the book and how that kind of built up at the end, everything just like made me sob. I literally started this book today and then I read the whole entire thing. Yeah, I'm gonna start reading The Tragedy of a Villainess or whatever that book is called. For now I just have to like sit down. Yeah, I am excited to read that book though. I've started reading A Tragedy of the Villainess, and so far I'm really enjoying it. Every single time I have a break and I have time, I always want to pick up my Kindle and just read this book. But right now I'm just seeing the development of Syria, and I don't really know how to pronounce the guy's name, but it's 𝐿𝐸𝐶HE, and I'm just really excited to see how their relationship progresses even further. This book is a little bit hard to explain, but it's basically about Syria, who originally lives in, I guess, like our world, and she passes away and she wakes up in the body of a villainess. So it's basically one of those stories, but in this story in particular, she's the villainess, but she's also a stern, which is this priest, and they are able to like purify all the demons and dark magic and all that stuff. She gets engaged to this guy named 𝐜𝐨𝐧𝐭 because she wants to avoid her fate of him killing her. But on the day of her wedding, things get messed up and he doesn't end up marrying her. But when it comes to the stern wedding, it's very dangerous because if they don't get married at the right time, the stern can lose their power and end up dying, because they have to do this whole ritual in the beginning, and if they don't get married, both of them end up dying. So in the end, because the guy, I will talk about that guy later, but because things go wrong, she ends up marrying 𝐸𝐿, or whatever his name is, and from that on we get that romance. I also want to add that oh my gosh, I have to rant a little bit. This book has two infuriating characters. We have Helena, who's basically the heroine of the book, and this girl is so annoying. I swear, every single time she speaks, I want to chuck my Kindle across the room. If I ever transported into that world, I want to throw her against the room, because every single time she speaks, she's so annoying because she's basically so condescending. She's a scientist, which is the most important person in this world, but she also comes from the mortal world, and then she goes into this world, but she goes like back and forth. But she's so annoying because she acts all weak. She literally cries every single time she sees Syria, and she's always like, I want to be friends with you, like, aren't we friends? But she treats her so badly, and there are just so many little things that she does. She's kind of like a pick-me, because 𝐜𝐨𝐧𝐭, who was Syria's ex-fiance, always treats her like a little doll and always sides with her, even though Syria is his fiance. And 𝐜𝐿𝐴 as well, oh my god, he infuriates me, because even though he basically betrays Syria, he keeps chasing after her and is like, I still love you. I'm like, boy, get over yourself. Go away, honestly. But that's basically the last day of the week, because I don't really read that much on Sunday. But honestly, this has been, I think, like the best reading week that I've had for a really long time, because all the books that I chose in this video, I really enjoyed reading all of them. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you guys in another one. Bye!